victory, God.
Welcome.
I hear a sound of
Welcome,
abundance
welcome,
of rain.
welcome.
I hear a sound of
Welcome to
victory.
the RIP
I
28
hear a sound of
podcast.
shouting and singing. I hear
This
a
is our
sound of
election
victory.
episode.
I hear a sound of
Shout out
abundance
to
of
the
rain.
remix
I hear
guy.
a sound of victory. I hear a sound of
This,
abundance of
this
rain.
our,
I hear a sound of victory.
this our
The
new
Lord says,
new
it is done.
music right here.
Done. 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 It is done. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. The Lord
Look at the front.
Remix God. I love this dude. He makes all these remixes. All right. Enough of that. Welcome to the RIP 28 podcast. I am your host, Slider Sports Guy. I'm joined by a few of my closest friends. This is the RIP 28 podcast. It's a podcast where a couple of good friends can get together and talk about some things. Now, some of those things we talk about, you might like. Some of the things we talk about, you probably won't like. But here's the thing. We're going to keep on talking about it on the RIP 28 podcast. I'm joined in the upper left by my homeboy C. Nez. What's going on, brother?
Nez in the building again. Ready to chop it up with my guys. Should be an interesting topic. Why everybody so mad?
Down on the other side, look at him smiling himself, Mr. J. Kennedy. What's going on, doctor?
Hey, what up? We're gonna have a real good conversation. Hopefully, this is the last conversation we gotta have about this. It'll be done and out the books.
All right. Now the educator's educator. What's going on, Beezy?
What's going on, fellas? It's Beezy the Great, the educator's educator. Just here, happy as I can be, ready to educate them on why they mad, Chance.
And down last but not least, my homeboy, the original G5 monster. What's going on, Dre?
Oh man, ain't nothing reporting live from down here in the South. You know what I'm saying? Out here in the swamp.
Oh, man, you're in the thick of it down there. Thick of it down there in low country, South Carolina. Well, if you can't tell by now, this is our election episode, our post-election episode. And we want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. We have a new president-elect. Should be Joe Biden. And most importantly, we have a new vice president. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have never cared about the vice president in my entire life. I can only name the vice presidents who was around when I was there. But Kamala Harris is our new vice president. And so now I give a big round of applause for Kamala and all the AKAs out there. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be
get my wife started.
I'm about sick of the AKAs right now. I'm sick of the AKAs on my timeline.
They all over that thing, ain't
they? They are all over. Well, fellas, you know, most of the votes have came in. They've tabulated everything, and it looks like Biden is our winner. He did his victory speech last night. He did his victory speech. Now, on the other side, Trump still saying it ain't over. You think your boy gonna go quietly? You think he gonna go on into the night, or he gonna put up a long fight?
He fighting all the way through, man. Dude, the gangster. He gonna find a way to make it difficult.
I don't know. I think Trump lives in an alternate reality, a Trump reality, and
he do.
At the end of the day, you can live in that reality, but it's things called facts, and the facts are that Biden got more votes than you.
Oh.
So no matter what you try to do, you know, how you try and say some balance of, look, the man called the election being rigged, they were going to take the election from him before the election even happened. You know, how you going to say somebody cheated me before the game even happened? That makes no sense.
He
right?
But you
man,
know,
I look at it like this, man. We all know a common criminal. And if you know a common criminal, they're gonna get the best lawyer. They're gonna try to fight it to the end before they catch that real time behind it. And he know he's gonna catch some serious time once he get out of office, because now he becomes a regular individual. And I'm pretty sure he gonna, find a way to try to weasel himself out of actually going into a prison cell. But Yeah, he know he got a lot of repercussions come behind what he's done over the last 4 years. And I mean, he just really scared to face reality.
You don't never turn into a regular individual after you're president, but I understand. I hear what you're saying.
Right.
Some repercussions.
That brings up a good question though. But would they lock up ex-president?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would because he has been a president. You know what I'm saying? But if he wasn't, he'd be behind bars with the rest of them.
Man, y'all ex-president came in with a built-in excuse. Yeah, if they're gonna beat me, they're gonna have to rig it. So we already knew what to expect, and we knew what to expect from his supporters. So he could really kill a lot of issues just by conceding defeat. But he don't want to do that because of some of the issues y'all have said. But he got his people in the uproar, but it's time for him to get out. I'll help him move out.
But you know, it's funny you talk about his people and having his people in the uproar. You know, here it is right here. I might want to give this dude. I don't know if we give a coon of the week award on the Rip 28 podcast. My man Herschel Walker. What he said?
Oh,
This man is a true Trump supporter right here. And you know what he said? Instead of us fighting and going to court, why don't we have Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin vote again? We can have it done within a week and maintain our democracy. So many things are wrong with that. You know, it's so many ways you want to support this guy, stay behind this guy when you know it's wrong. You know what you're saying is wrong. This man was an athlete, a top-notch, top-quality athlete. Now, if you told him we need to go back and play a football game over because I don't believe I should have lost, I wonder what he would say about that. You know, how would he feel about that?
There's no logic in what they're saying. Like they come out and say, well, the news networks don't decide who the president is. No, they don't. But we're looking at the numbers and the votes. It makes no. It's a spin on everything. I'm like, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. And
it's
the
a
Trump
built-in excuse, man.
I got into it with somebody on Facebook today. I take a respectable route, but they were saying, you know, this presidency don't count because they cheated on the ballots. And I'm like, if anybody had the ability to cheat on the ballot, it would be the president who's in the office right now. How would somebody who's not even president have the power to cheat on voting? I mean, he the one who in the office got the government officials and all that stuff. I mean, so if it's any way to cheat, he would be the one to find a way. I just don't understand the logic.
I mean, man, the thing is, dog, like, it's something called voter suppression that Trump was trying to push to the max if he could. He was even trying to shut down the post office. He didn't want the mail to be delivered. So with you being the number one pusher of voter suppression, like what else is there to say? Like, you want to recount and all this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. Like, man, stop, because there's already stuff in place where if the votes are within a certain range of each other, it's supposed to be a recount, and I'm all cool with that because those rules was already established, and I can respect that all day. But with him trying to like take it to court and try to force a recount or whatever the case may be, like you said, now that's when it gets ridiculous because it's like, hold on, we already got rules in place for this. How you gonna come through with a lawsuit and make a recount happen? Like that's crazy.
And to me,
we all know, we all been around sports and being competitive and all of that. We know the sore losers. We know those that come before they lose, they already know. Man, I already know he gonna cheat to win, or the video game cheated. That's the kind of cat Donald Trump is. Man, they cheated on me. Everything they cheated, and we just gotta expect that from him, man. And go on and let him do his lawsuits. And then as soon as he walk out of office, lock his ass up. That's all we got to do, and let him talk through bars.
You know, it's amazing. It's amazing to me who this guy is. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I like it. I like it. I like the fact that he crazy. You know, and I'm gonna be honest. I really wish that Obama was as crazy as he was, especially during Obama's second term. You know, Trump really doesn't give a fuck. I mean, he really doesn't give about anything but his bottom line. You know what I'm saying? He's using this position of presidency, or the president, so he can make money, so his friends can make money, and his family can make money, so he can show his power and fuck everybody else. He knows he has a certain amount of power, and he's using it. I really wish Obama would have did the same thing, especially in that second term. I wish he, you don't always have to be the nice guy. Sometimes you got to flip the table over every now and then.
Hey, I want to make this point right here. I think when most of us were born, Jimmy Carter was the president. Is that correct? You too, Brian?
Yeah, I ain't but a year behind you. It was my vote year.
So, to be honest, in my opinion, my life ain't changed one bit from Carter to Reagan to Bush to the other Bush to Clinton to Obama to Trump. And these people is ready to fight and kill and loot and riot, all that stuff because of the president. It ain't president. The president, to me, is a figurehead that has to answer to the Congress and the House of Representatives. It's the people in your community, mayors and your congressmen and your senators and the governors and stuff like that, where you really need to put your folks in, because the president is just taking black and the accountability for everything, because you got to have a leader in office. But for the most part, we lose sight of what's important in your community. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the local people on the same page that you want and hold them people accountable for their actions and make sure that they're doing the right thing. The president thing, of course, Trump is who he is, but he don't have so much power. He not going to these states and these cities and making all these decisions. We got to make sure that we get to the local level. Do y'all agree with that, or do y'all have a different opinion?
I
totally agree.
I agree with that, but it's something else I found out that I really didn't know, or maybe I just didn't understand. I didn't understand was the power that one of the powers the president does have is to appoint federal judges. Mm-hmm. And what ends up happening, he has the power to appoint all these federal judges, and I'm not sure the number. We get somebody to do some research, but Trump appointed a lot of federal judges during these last 4 years. And the way that kind of affects us in the future, what a lot of people don't know, every time someone sues someone and they want to take it to a higher court, and a higher court, once it reaches the federal level, before the Supreme Court, once it reaches the federal level, now if he puts in a bunch of conservative-minded judges, which he did, he put in those conservative judges or friends of his as judges, then they're making decisions that'll affect our day-to-day also. And I honestly didn't know the extent of that. I didn't know how federal judge, I didn't know it was an appointed thing.
All right.
Hold on. But I'm with you, everything you said, but what I do know that they have an effect on, which is what Trump did to a lot of people, was our taxes. And I know he hit us hard when he first got in office. Like, I ain't even, usually cash out like I usually do, like you said, for most presidents, they don't really bother with everybody else. But when he got in office, he hit the middle class hard when it came to taxes. I'm pretty sure everybody, if they can think about it, they got a lot less in taxes when Trump got in office.
Yeah. I hear you. Sly, Juwan, maybe y'all may know this, but what do you got to do to get to the federal judge?
You just got to be appointed.
I mean, like most of the stuff if we was to go to court for something, it'd be Judge Judy type stuff, Joe Brown. But I mean, like, what you got to do to be at a federal judge level? Because
white collar crime.
Maybe y'all know that. Maybe y'all can explain that to somebody that who would this affect?
I think it's like oh God, I know certain drug crimes, the crimes you go to federal prison for.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of drug stuff. If you're not arrested by, like, if you're arrested by the state police, you're gonna go to regular court. You're arrested by the local police, you'll go to regular court. But if you're arrested by the DEA, you know what I'm saying? They make a bust like that. That's a federal crime. That's how you would go to federal court. And federal court handles the appeals court. They handle the appeals court. So if if you appeal something and it makes it up to that level, it's a federal, it's a federal case. They appeal it, and those are appointed positions. Now, here's the crazy thing about being a judge, and maybe one of our viewers can correct me if I'm wrong, but if to become a judge, that is a voted on office. They vote for your local judges. I think it's like every 10 years or something. Some of your local judges can be voted on, but you don't have to have a background in law or be a lawyer to be
Really?
a judge. Now, I could be wrong. But I think so. I don't think you have to have a background in law to be a judge
Uh,
because it's a
I thought
That seems
judge,
odd. That
so like
seems
with judge, I thought judge, you can't not be a judge no more until you die. Is that true? Or am I wrong on that?
what you mean. No, you mean lose your position?
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
get voted
That's
out
the
of?
that's the
Supreme Court.
That's Supreme Court, Chan.
Supreme
Supreme Court judge.
Okay.
But if you go out and you get you get a traffic ticket tomorrow, I think that judge is a voted. You vote for that judge. I think you voted because if you remember the Ahmaud Arbery, no, that was the prosecutor. My bad. That was the prosecutor who got voted out of office. But judges can be voted out of office, man. But the thing is, it's not the way they try to keep them honest. Instead of voting every 4 years for a judge, it's like a 10-year or a 15-year, 10-year or 15-year term that judges have, and that way you don't have to worry about a judge bowing down to certain special interest groups and stuff like that.
So I agree with you, Chance. It doesn't really. I don't think the president affects me and hasn't really affected me in my life. But I think with Trump, he kind of set the I don't know, the temper for the whole U.S. Think about it. When the NFL played, well, when Kaepernick was kneeling, right, just to bring awareness to police brutality, it was Trump who started this whole thing about he disrespected the flag. And now it became this kneeling is disrespecting the flag. And so it's two sides, and that's where all that racism kind of started. And then you had the pandemic hit, right? And then you had people, you've been seeing stuff, been seeing our people get killed by the police for not really anything, right? And so, and then he just egged that on even more. And so now you got this whole racial divide. It was all brung on. It was always there, but I think he lit that he threw more kerosene on the fire.
He gave a lot of people a lot of confidence. Y'all know I used to live in Arkansas, and I was in the minority bar. I went to church there, and think we had one or two black families at the church that I went to, and they were my friends on Facebook. Of course, when I was at church, they were like, "Oh, Chance, we love your family," blah blah blah. You see them out at the grocery store, act like they didn't know who you were. It was just crazy to me that once he got in the office, they started posting stuff that was just off the chain. Like, that's how you really think? I mean, it just blew my mind that these same people that was acting like they was being nice to me and my family had these thoughts and opinions, and I was like, well, I can't get down with these folks like this. He put a divide even more, like you were saying, like it was some racist people out there, and there's some good. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of white people who are not racist, but it gave a lot of people their confidence, and with this social media, people go and type anything they want because they, you know, safe behind their computer and just say whatever they want to say or whatever they think. Then you get to see the real people and the real them or what they think about these situations. And I don't agree with a lot of that stuff.
You know, it's funny, you talk about that, being safe behind that computer, man. And one thing I do appreciate what Trump did, Trump exposed a lot of people. He exposed a lot of people. A lot of people
brought them out, man.
You know, and they got comfortable. They got real comfortable with him. And so now I really want to see what this comfort level is going to be with Biden. You know, he made the big speech about how the African American people stood behind him when he was at his low. So let's see how he stands behind us now. Oh yeah. Before we get too quick, man, you know, to let the world know, does a federal judge have to meet certain qualifications to be a judge? There are almost no formal qualifications for federal judges. Article 1, magistrate and bankruptcy judges are required by statute to be lawyers, but there is no such requirement for district judges, first judges, or Supreme Court judges.
Oh wow!
My application is.
That's mind blowing. That's mind blowing.
Yeah,
those are the people that the president appoints. He appoints those people. So
right, like that's how it usually works. Like, be honest with you, like there's, I mean, I hate to say it, but the Caucasians have things in place. You know what I'm saying? Loopholes in place to position themselves. And like you say, when you're just not informed about it, then hey, you living in the dark. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who just, you know, received that information, I mean, you might have been in the dark, but now you in the light. You know what I'm saying? Like just that quick, how you found out, like, wow, I could be a Supreme Court judge and I don't need to have a law degree. You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but like that's the type of things that they do to set themselves up, you know, to keep themselves, you know, on the upper tier of the totem pole and keep everybody else at the bottom.
Yeah, I got a friend in Arkansas who was like, you know, man, I should have been in jail plenty of times, but dude I grew up with was a judge, so he kept me out. You know, I didn't have to do nothing. I was like, man, I don't have them kind of hookups and connections like that. You know what I mean? I go to court, I'm going to jail.
Ain't no
good, probably. And they're gonna keep me in there as long as they can. But I guess he had a few DUIs and stuff like that, but never on his record or anything like that. So yeah, I see how that is, because I mean, it's just a local joker out there being judge, you know what I mean? Just he got a great job somehow.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Zimmerman situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, let somebody else would have did that crime. You know what I'm saying? It was a crime, even though you didn't get, you know what I'm saying, prosecuted, but let anybody else would have done that. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't, like you say, wasn't friends with a judge.
Well, yeah, his dad was a judge.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? He had the plug. His daddy was the plug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's what people don't understand is, you know, I guess since we came over here in slavery and all that stuff, all the people who are in power positions, you know, the CEOs of companies and all that stuff. Like, all right, let me put it in our terms. All right, if I own the company, y'all needed a job, I'm gonna give y'all a good job because y'all my boys. You know what I'm saying? That's how it worked in the world too. You know, you got this old 75-year-old white dude who got nephews and nieces and sons and daughters and stuff. They gonna give them jobs. And that's just how it works. They don't understand that we got a late start. It's like get somebody a head start. You run the 400, you get them a 300-yard start to the finish up to the finish line. Who gonna win? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a couple of us that's athletic enough that might catch them because you know they ain't that fast. But it's gonna be the majority that's gonna get left behind, and that's just what it is. And people not understanding that. They think that all right, you know, whatever year they pass these bills, that everything is fair and equal now, and they got the what's the new law that you got to interview one black person or something like that. I can't even remember the name of it.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm talking about.
I can't think of the name. I know exactly what you're talking about though.
But it's one of them. They like, oh, well, that's fair. Then they like, that's not fair because you're taking a white person out that could have got that job type thing. But
Yeah,
I'll think of that. I'll think of the name of that sooner or later. But
but just to
you
tag
know,
them.
they think it's not fair.
Affirmative action.
Yeah, affirmative action. I think it like in the NFL is like the Rudy Rule.
Yeah,
Or
the Rudy
The
Rule.
Rooney.
Oh, the Rooney Rule, yeah, in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, that's just trying to give us a little shot at it. You know what I'm saying? And they feel like that's a bad thing. And I mean, I'm like, you know, at least give us a shot, give us a chance. You know?
Oh
'Cause if
yeah,
not, we wouldn't even get
yeah.
that.
I mean, you 110% right. Because I listened to this guy called his name is John Brian Hope or whatever, and he says basically like he's like 30% of white America leave leave some type of like life insurance. You know what I'm saying? For their children. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like you say, they got a head start. You know what I'm saying? You got $100,000, $200,000, $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who the person is, you got to, you receiving this lump sum of money. You know what I'm saying? Where you probably in your prime or maybe in your later 30s or 40s. Give you opportunity to catch up financially, get ahead financially, start a business, whatever. He said, but it's 13% of African Americans are left. You know what I'm saying? Some type of inheritance or whatever the case may be. So if you saying over 30% for the Caucasian community and 13% for the African American community, I mean, that's a big difference. You know what I'm saying?
That's better than I would have thought. So I mean, I wouldn't have thought 13%. So that's interesting.
Right.
How many of y'all got life insurance?
Yeah, I got it.
Well, you know, I guess a bit of my personal information out there. Life insurance, because I had an uncle. My uncle, before he passed away, he owned a Allstate branch out in California, out in San Diego, and so he just made sure that everybody in our family had life insurance. Partially because he was selling it, so that was easy.
Right.
But when my dad died at 19, when I was 19 and my dad died, that money helped me. I mean, it helped me. And then he was smart, and my uncle was smart enough that the life insurance he set up for us, it went to my mom. She got the majority of it. And my mom was smart enough to understand that I didn't need all that money at 19. So she spaced it out for me, and I appreciate that. But it's all because of life insurance that helped me set things up for myself, in the future. Set up businesses, house purchases, property purchases. It's money that I wouldn't have had on my own because of life insurance. But that's how a lot of people don't understand. That's how a lot of generational wealth is established, is because of life insurance. And a lot of times us as people, we got the idea, man, fuck it, I'm taking it with me when I go.
Right.
Too bad it didn't let you. It didn't help you get better looking though.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey man, he ain't leave enough. He ain't leave enough for plastic surgery, I guess.
How about titty reduction?
I will let you have some for the plastic surgery.
Yeah, I need a couple of them ducats too.
Hey, Sly, you say you didn't leave enough for face implant or whatever. How about titty reduction?
People forget that I got the mute button too. They forget all about that. Here we go.
Hey, but to get back on topic, like do y'all like I try and understand the other side, and so sometimes I'll watch like Fox News just to kind of understand. Yeah, just try to understand. Okay, what side of their hearing that makes them think this particular way, and I just wonder if anybody else does that. Like,
yeah, I think it. Like I say, I live in the Arkansas. I keep bringing it up, but it's a lot of good people, are good natured people there that just don't understand. Like they never been outside of Arkansas. So their life, they think, this what the world is. And they don't understand that, it's cities like Memphis, Atlanta, Chicago and stuff like that, where it's, majority type Black people and struggles that they have to go through. They know nothing about that. All they know is their rural area and that, I don't treat Black people any different. Some of my best friends are Black, they say all that, but and they don't understand the struggle that we go through as a whole. So they think, like Trump is doing all this for all these policies that he's putting in is in favor of them, not understanding the big picture. People are closed-minded and they don't understand that. And I mean, it's hard to explain to them because they just don't know. And I've been in 4 or 5 different states. I lived in a lot of different places. I've seen a lot of things, and I understand that it's different everywhere. When I came to Russellville, Arkansas, it's probably 10 years behind the rest of the world as far as being an advancement. So I don't get mad at them because I understand that they just don't know, and it's slow motion out there. But I try to explain to them, like when I talk to somebody one-on-one, I try to explain to them the best that I can, but they're gonna think what they think.
Yeah, I mean, Juwan, like, I get what you're saying, like trying to watch Fox News or whatever, to try to get a perspective or whatever. But at the end of the day, you gotta look at it like this: when you at the top of the totem pole, and you start to see another race or whoever else who's at the bottom of the totem pole start to get halfway up the pole, 75% of the way up the pole, you want to kick them back down. I mean, that's just the honest truth behind it. And I mean, I get it. They feel threatened. I mean, I honestly believe, like, I mean, I don't necessarily know what it could be, but I just feel like the Caucasian male or just Caucasian in general know something about us that we don't know. That's why they try to keep their foot on our throat. You know what I'm saying? Like, they let us get through. Like, okay, we let Obama get in. All right, so now, boom, let's start this new movement where we're gonna try to kill as many Black men as possible, so we'll never have another African American running our country. Because think about it, you don't want to have nothing to do with politics if they killing our people. So because politics come what? Police comes with law enforcement. You heard Trump. What police department are you friends with? What police department supports you? Like, that scares us. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Black men getting killed, I'm scared to get pulled over. What the hell make you think I want to be a judge? Or what the hell make you think I want to be any type of politician? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So it was like Obama got in office and then they went on a damn, killing spree always. You know what I'm saying? And so that was the whole MO. You know what I'm saying? So now we got to get past that. You know what I'm saying? Thank God we got a Black female vice president. You know what I'm saying? I definitely know she have a different perspective, but
I have to disagree with you on that, Drake. That stuff been going on since forever, man. It ain't just when Obama got to be president. That stuff, it's just now that we got all this social media and everybody can see everything, it happening more often. But that thing been happening forever. It been happening.
Right, but like you just said, now we know about it. Now we see it. And the fact that we know about it and see it is scary. When we didn't know about it, we still were striving to be a politician, you know what I'm saying, or a police officer ourselves or whatever. Because like you say, we was in the dark. We didn't know. Now that we know about it, I promise you probably ask these young boys, do they want to be a police officer or anything like that? They're going to say, hell no, all the time.
Anybody know what percentage of Black people are in America?
Quick Google
search. They said it was 13%, right? We 13% of the country.
So, they try to pull that. A lot of people try to pull that, more white people get killed by the police than Black people. You got 20 million white people and you got, 1,000 of them that get killed, and you got 1 million Black people and 2,000 get killed, or 900 get killed. I
right.
mean, the percentages is way off, man.
Right.
Not understanding that.
Yeah. So one thing, just I know you're talking about the church you went to, and you went to a probably white church, down where you were at. And so that's one thing I've been trying to figure out. And I said, let me watch Fox News. Let me figure out why all these white Christians
smart people
supporting this dude. And I realized that it's all because of the abortion, and they don't support abortion. They don't support gay people, and because Donald Trump is that way, they side with that. So they just prioritize that stuff over
Uh-huh.
racism, and they look the other way with racism, and they
Right.
say he's not racist, and it's sad, but that's what it is. And honestly, Donald Trump wouldn't have had a chance of even coming close to getting elected if it wasn't for that.
Right.
Because I think it's a small portion of people who are racist, right? And then there's other people who are racist, but that's just because they hadn't been around black people. They don't know how to relate to black people. They don't know the struggle for black people. And in some instances, they just need to learn and need to be educated. But it's an interesting dynamic to that whole thing. How the country is basically split in half. Um, One supporting Donald Trump on all his craziness that he does. The other side, like, look, man, we gotta get back to somebody who got some common sense to be the leader of the free world.
Hey, is it me or before Trump? It was like whoever won the presidency, you rode with that dude, no matter what. They were. It was like
Nah, I don't think everybody was for George W. I don't think everybody was for him.
the young one or the old.
Yeah, the son. I don't think everybody was with the son.
I think that's where it started. But I mean, he wasn't a very good public speaker, so people kind of
Right.
thought he was, incapable of doing the job. I mean, I don't know how good he was, but
But
it was just to the point. When Trump got in, it was like people don't. People was just at arms with each other, and before then, it was like, all right, we got a president. That's our president. We gonna respect him and go on with that. But now it's like, he correct. I mean, everybody got this open forum, talk junk, and put memes up and all that stuff. So it's just fueling the flame
well,
every single day.
Chance, it's the energy you bring. It's the energy you bring,
I
and he brought that. I think Trump brings that energy to the conversation. Trump brings that energy to the conversation. What happens? What happens with Trump? If you go back and look at Bush. All right, Bush didn't have the image, or he didn't sound. Bush didn't come off and sound like an asshole. He might not have sounded smart. He might not have sounded intelligent, but he wasn't openly saying shit about Mexicans. He wasn't openly saying shit about black folk. He wasn't openly being an asshole. And then when you brought Obama on, when Obama became the president, now people, your closet racists and your rednecks, your hillbillies, they was like, oh man, I can't believe that this black man in office. They ain't even say black man. I can't believe this nigga with the ER is in office.
Not just black man, educated black man,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
educated first lady,
Mm-hmm.
bro. We had that in like forever.
They couldn't believe that. And then
the first.
you look at the energy that Trump brings. That's what divided the country, is this energy he brought. He brought in saying, we gonna build the wall. We gonna we gonna repeal universal health care. He brought in that energy, that stand back and stand by. He brought in that type of energy. And that's why, the respect level for the office of president has gone down.
Just the fact that he was like, I've done more for the blacks than any president has done. I like it ain't about that, man. I mean, like, you should not separate people by the color. You say
Right.
people, not
That's
just
why.
I took these black people and did this for them. I gave
That's
them
still a lot of it. It's still a lot
Where,
of
bro?
more for black folks.
Everything he said has been a lie. Everything he's done has been to undermine and undo what the Obama administration has done.
Yeah, like
That
he
was his sole purpose. He brought on the racial tension. He amplified it by saying some of the things he said, and having some of his puppets, some of these governors in South Carolina and other states, just repeating that garbage he's spitting out, which has caused a divided line and caused people to do certain things. So he brought that on and feeding off his energy. So I think it's time for us to feed off that energy too and do what we need to do, because we are not our ancestors.
To me, it's amazing. I just pulled up his Twitter page. And you look at his Twitter page, even Twitter, all the stuff that he typed. If you go and look at his recent tweets and everything, Twitter, they have the fact checking thing on Twitter now. So it's basically every time he types something on Twitter, Twitter has to go and put a
flag in it
underneath saying, "Yo, this ain't true.
right.
This ain't true."
But you're censoring him. It's supposed to be free speech, right? that's
Well,
what they say.
no. I mean, that's a company. That's a company, so they can control you. They can control what's being done.
They let them type it. They just tell you it's a lie.
Right.
Hey, but once he out of office, they're gonna be disabling his account.
Oh yeah, they definitely block his account all day.
I can't believe like some of the stuff that he said. I was like, man, somebody had to hack this man page.
Nah, bro.
The stuff that come out of his mouth sometimes is like, our president, our leader, the leader of the free world, is openly saying this stuff on Twitter for everybody to see. It's just hard to believe that.
You can't wrap your mind around it, can you?
Yeah, like I can't believe it. I want somebody trying to make me look bad or something.
I'm with you. I'm with you because I was like, when have our president ever been this accessible? You know what I'm saying? Like, when has any president been this accessible? Right. He will argue with you in Twitter. It's like, really? Like, my president is on Twitter? Like, that's crazy. And then he was tweeting just straight off, impulse, you know what I'm saying? Like, without even thinking. He's tweeting in his feelings, like, whatever happens, oh, bam, I'm going to tweet about this, or I'm going to say this. You know what I'm saying? There was no tact with what he was using. So, yeah, definitely, something we'll never see again. At least I hope.
I got a question for
we'll
you.
Never see again.
I got a question for you, John. If you got a CEO of your company.
I work for the government. We got a commanding officer.
Okay, and you send an email straight to the top of him, and will he respond back to you, or will like the secretary or something respond back to you?
I ain't never did that before. But
like that don't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, somebody, a secretary will read it first, and if he needs to go to him, he will. But if not, she'll respond back.
And it's like, who is letting this dude just pop off like this? I just don't get it, man. Like, somebody gotta be like, all right,
let me get that phone.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not what they do.
He has nobody in his corner but yes men and puppets. Right. So they're gonna do what he says to try to keep their job and cover their ass. He doesn't have anybody there to step up to him.
Right. Just think about it. Think about how many people that left, that was in his cabinet that he fired due to them, questioning him. Like you say, somebody, going against what he had to say, he got rid of them. And what they did, they turned around, wrote books, told the truth, said a little bit here, said a little bit there. I mean, they was trying to burn him, you know what I'm saying? So he had people that was against him, but he wasn't going for that. He didn't want them. He got rid of them.
I don't even think people were against him. I think in any kind of, and people, like I know y'all probably be in different leadership positions. When you have a team together, you have to listen to everybody because you don't have all answers. If you got yes men all the time, you're going to make some bad decisions because everybody is scared to give input. And so that makes the team strong by having different people seeing things differently. And
right.
So I don't know.
I agree with you all day.
But when you're not qualified for a job, do you really want people that's going to go against you, or do you want to have things your way?
Yeah. And I put it like this too. Hey, I'm not mad at Donald Trump at all. If somebody voted me in as president, I'm not gonna say no. It's the people who voted him in there that I'm mad at. I like, this man was what's the apprentice? You seen how that man was. If you think that's how the country should be run, I mean, that man, he fed off of disrespecting people and just look forward to firing folks. You know what I mean? You're fired.
Yeah. The one thing about Donald Trump is
he is who he is.
He knew where he stood on the issue. You knew where he stood on every issue because he spoke about it, he tweeted about it, he did everything about it. At least we knew that. But we have some of these other dangerous people that's, like you said, undercover. Now, those are the most dangerous politicians when you don't know their agenda, when they're feeding you one thing and in actuality is something totally different. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I think I'd rather know at least when somebody really stood with me than to fake the funk with me and then bite me or hurt me later.
And you
But I
know
think
what? That's
that's why.
funny you say that, man, because that's kind of like the difference between northern racism and southern racism. You know,
So
I prefer my
racism, yeah.
racism from the south. You know what I'm saying? Because I know where you stand. I see
Right
that
in the
big ass
because it's in
Confederate
your
flag.
face.
You
Yeah,
know, but up north, you
exactly.
know, they don't have that Confederate flag up north. You know, you don't know where your neighbors stand.
You don't.
I
Hey,
think that's where
people
it
up
That's
north
that
more
that's
quicker to
that
speak their
hidden
opinion too.
but I think that's where
that's that hidden
Donald
agenda,
Trump
Sly.
base was, right? It
Yeah,
was because he just says what he wants to say, and people love that. Like, Sly, you even said you love it. You just don't agree with it,
yeah.
but people love that, and that's why they voted for him.
You
Of
know, it's
course, the black
interesting.
Donald Trump gonna like it. Sly just like Donald Trump. He gonna say what he say, whether you like it or not, and it's right there. And I respect that about you. I respect that about you. At least I know where you stand on this subject, and I don't have to worry. Well, dang, is Sly really with it, or what's going on here? I want it in my face. Let me know right now.
Mhm. But now, you know, speaking of his supporters and everything, you know, just going back to the election results, how do you, I ask each one of y'all, you know, how do y'all feel? You think it might be any repercussions or any actions? I start off with Chance and Drake because y'all two, you know, the furthest out, you know, well Chance just moved to Atlanta, but you know, you being in Arkansas and Dre, you being down there in Charleston, you know, how y'all feel about maybe some of these Proud Boys reaching out and trying to go back to the old time ways because they pissed off. You think something like that is a possibility?
I think it's gonna be a problem for them if they do try that. I mean, don't do it. Hey, I mean, uh, we got artillery too,
But
but I don't think it need to get to that. I mean, I think that people just need to say, hey, whoever is the president, we need to respect that guy and live your life. Like I said before, whoever been the president all these years ain't changed my life. So I mean, why you so mad? Man, just live your life the best that you can, be the best person that you can, help people, you know, just try to make this world a better place. Because the presidency is just a position. They still got to go through the Congress and the House of Representatives to get anything done. And you know, that's usually when you got a Democratic president, the House or the Congress or one of them is Republican too. So they going at it too. So I mean, don't get in your feelings over who's president.
so what about you, Dre? You think in your area you might see some Proud Boy reaction?
I guess I'll go ahead and kind of reveal some truth for what situation that happened to me not too long ago. All right, everybody who got kids in the on this cast right here, like those days come we got to put your child in the car, ride around the block a few times, for them to go to sleep. So I'm doing the same thing with my daughter, right? So I go around the corner, whoop de whoop, and I get back to the crib. Now it's a Friday night, I stay in a neighborhood that's predominantly retired people, you know what I'm saying? So there ain't too much activity going on Friday night around here. So I pull back into my driveway. Of course, I notice the headlights in my rearview mirror, but like I said, I'm not thinking about nothing at the moment. So I pull into my driveway, and next time I notice this truck pulls like right up on the edge of my front yard. And so I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm like, I kind of crack my window just in case I hear somebody saying like, "Hey, what such and such, or can I get directions?" Whatever. Now mine's just like, it's like 11 o'clock at night when this is going on. So I'm like chilling or whatever. And so I'm sitting there watching. The guy never gets out, never rolls the window down, no nothing. So of course now my mind goes to the extreme, which is like, okay, he waiting on a target. He wait for me to get out, get out my truck and maybe walk towards the house or whatever, and maybe try to shoot. This is not too long after the George Floyd situation, and so I chill. So then he pulls up, he back and gets like directly behind my truck. So of course, I grabbed a strap. I got 13 ready. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just waiting on him to make the first move. So of course, on the process of me thinking about all this, I'm like, you know what? Let me go and call 911 to cover my ass in case I got to put 13 in his driver's side door. So call 911. I'm going through this whole process. He goes down the road when a car came. He sees the car leave out the neighborhood. He does the U-turn, come back. So like I said, I'm still, I'm kind of, I'm on edge or whatever. I'm trying to keep my senses about myself while I'm on the phone with the lady from 911. I'm trying to sound frantic, like I'm in a panic, so she can hurry up and rush to get a police officer out there. But the whole time, like I got my eyes locked and loaded on who's ever in this work truck. So basically, long story short, he eventually leaves or whatever and doesn't do anything. And so of course, hey, you know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to think? I'm a black man, my baby girl in the backseat. There's been a lot of police brutality going on. There's been a lot of, what they call them, white vigilantes, you know what I'm saying? Have a couple, they had a couple acts going on, especially like the guy in Georgia who got shot running through the neighborhood. So why would I think anything else? You know what I'm saying? So of course I go in the house or whatever, and it was kind of funny because recently I purchased an AR-15, and the price was up due to the social climate. That's what the guy told me at the gun store. So of course I loaded my AR-15, and of course I'm like, if you come back, okay, we're gonna have a little situation. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. Like if it's a real serious, situation that goes down. I mean, I feel like they'll wait to the right moment where they can get as many people as possible. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised about it. I mean, I hope not. I hope America's better than that. But hey, the way things are, like you say, these Trump supporters, they die hard about it.
Well,
They make
you
that
see,
call.
I'm also down here with Dre at two slides.
Yeah, that is right. Down there.
I think it goes away if Donald Trump goes away. But if he leaves and still riles up his base, it's gonna be chaos. And I know they probably won't lock a ex-president up, but at that point you have to muzzle him some kind of way. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you got to muzzle him because not he causing chaos in the streets.
Yeah, yeah. You make good point. If you shut up the lead, everybody else is shut up because he the one riling. He riling up the people. He's definitely the one riling up the people.
Hey man, listen, they have already started off here in Columbia, man. Yesterday, it was look like a Donald Trump rally downtown at the State House. Had their Donald Trump flags, their MAGA
Wow.
hats, and everything. So it's already. I think I'm anticipating a problem. I'm hoping not, but I'm preparing. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm preparing for the worst. I had a friend, real quick story, down in Charleston today, and a lady wanted to know how much a coupon was, and she told her, and she's like, "Well, you could use it if you want, since it's more than yours." She said, "I don't need nothing from you people." So it's already started. It's just on a smaller
Yep.
scale. I think it's just waiting for the gasoline to be poured, and Donald Trump is the gasoline. So we got to cut the head off. So he need to go ahead and deaden the issue, man, before something really starts. But
I
I'm anticipating something happening.
I just hate the fact that if you have a different opinion than somebody that ain't like them, can't be friends with them. Like I wish there was no such thing as Democrats and Republicans. Like it it don't matter if the Democratic person has all the right things to say, or the Republican person has all the right things to say. There's some people that ain't gonna vote Democrat or ain't gonna vote Republican just because that's what their beliefs are. They don't care who the best person is. They just care who the best their party that they represent is. And I just don't think that's right. I mean, you got to be more open minded than that. Just saying, all right, whoever party is, that's who I'm riding with. Ain't no person in this world is conservative all the way or liberal all the way. Everybody is somewhere in between. Everybody's somewhere in the middle. So if
But
you pick the
voting is
person who you
go ahead,
think
my
is
bad.
right, then everything be all good. But there's some people that just ain't gonna budge from what they think.
Voting is usually generational. Whatever your parents and those before you and your family have voted, that's usually what you vote. So it's really just trying to change the old school mindset right now. Because usually if your parents were Republican or Democratic, that's what you are. I mean, all that sounds good, but just going by the numbers, you're gonna vote usually what your family votes.
Yeah. Kind of remind me of
That's
Ross
just the good
Perot
old boys.
back in the day.
Yeah, big ears.
All right. Well, fellas, man. I have definitely enjoyed this podcast, man. We set up and talked a little bit about politics. We don't usually get too deep into politics, but I do appreciate the fact we could talk a little politics today here on the RIP 28 podcast, man. Any closing remarks for the fellas, man? Anything y'all want to say to get out of here?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Love everybody, man. It ain't about Republican and Democrat, all that stuff. Just follow your heart. Who you think gonna take care of our country the most? It ain't about all these hidden agendas and stuff, man. Just think as a sensible person, love one another, do the best you can to be the best person you can be in this life. Everything else take care of itself. Don't stop separating each other by these parties. That's my thing.
LBC.
Only thing I got to say is we ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. That's it.
That's it. LeBron.
That's it. Drop the mic.
LeBron.
Yeah, I agree with Chaz wholeheartedly. Like, we can disagree, but we can still have a conversation. Look, I've been married for 11 years. Me and my wife don't agree on everything, but we have to come to an agreement. We have to have a conversation because we got to make decisions because we got to lead these kids that we got, right? And the same goes with the Democrats and Republicans. They got to work together. You got to talk. You got to come to agreement because you're doing this for the greater for the citizens of the United States of America.
Cool.
So,
Man, I'm like this, dog. I don't vote. You know what I'm saying? So I want to applaud America.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? For making the right decision on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you voted for Trump and you black,
I'll be honest.
And this man ain't saying that.
Hold on one second.
You ain't even vote, dog.
Hold on one second.
I'm never gonna vote, dog. I'm never gonna vote.
Bruh, all this talking, I hate to say it, your opinion don't matter worth shit. You ain't vote. Your
I won't vote. Ain't making no difference, dog.
All this talk about politics, your opinion don't matter. No, it don't.
You know what? Your opinion don't matter either if Trump won.
Bro, we was supposed to be wrapping this shit up. Now you drop this bombshell on it.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Oh yeah.
Your opinion don't matter. It don't matter. And this is why I'm gonna say that.
Just like when you voted for Hillary, right?
This is why I'm gonna say that.
Your opinion don't matter. Okay.
This why I'm gonna say this right here, Dre. In Georgia, the final count ain't in. But the last time I checked, well,
I ain't in Georgia, so
a couple of days ago.
Don't matter.
Well, let's do it even better. Jamie Harrison, from right down there where you are. Right where you are right now, black guy trying to defeat Lindsey Graham.
I mean, I don't know. I heard some things about him too.
I don't know how many votes.
He might be black, but that don't mean he's right though.
I don't know how many votes this dude lost by, but let's say he lost by 20,000 votes. They 20,000 ignorant motherfuckers just like yourself. He said, I ain't gonna vote.
How does that work?
That's why.
If he lost by 20,000 votes, what the hell does my vote matter?
Because your vote. It's not only your vote. It's not only your vote.
Yes, it is my vote.
It's your vote and the people who hear you say you're an influential dude. People look up to Dre. Dre a cool cat. Dre somebody I can kick it with. So you got some other dumbass out there too who say, okay, well, Dre think it's cool not to vote, so I ain't gonna vote because Dre a cool dude.
I mean, I don't broadcast it. I don't try to influence anybody else not to vote.
This is a public forum.
Right. But I'm just saying, I don't broadcast it that I don't vote. Like, oh, I'm influencing somebody else not to vote.
Now you are.
You are. Every time you say, I don't vote, there's somebody out there who say, it might just be one person. It might be two people. You know what I'm saying? I might be the only person who think you cool. Shit, I might be totally wrong. You might be lame. Shit, nobody might not follow you. But somebody out there follow you. Somebody think you cool. Somebody say, well, damn, Dre don't vote. And then he tells me,
if I'm not broadcasting it and I'm not speaking on it, then everybody's in the dark.
Nah.
It's way more relevant now, but my parents are older than all you guys' parents. They'd have been almost 80 years old now. And voting was such a big deal because their parents couldn't vote, man. It was like you did not have that right to do that. And it was like, hey, if you don't do nothing in your life, you need to use your right to vote. And I mean, it's only one vote, yes. But you get a conglomerate or a majority of people that actually do it. Like if you done got the jail, or if you done went to jail or been to the federal prison or something, you can't vote no more. You don't have that right. You know what I mean? People in jail.
Exactly.
How many people in jail right now that can't vote? It's a doggone, it's a right, man, to do that, man. So I mean, I would stress to you to use your right. I mean, I'm not the biggest politic type of person. I don't follow that stuff every day, but I'm gonna use my right to vote just because we didn't have that right at some point in time. Not maybe 60, 60, 70 years ago.
Yeah, it ain't been
that went long ago, man. That we couldn't vote. It wasn't that long ago. So I'm gonna vote every time.
Bro, I'm a little disappointed in you, Jay. I can't tell you a lie.
Hey man, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, like I say, 3 million people extra voted for Hillary. Guess who won? Trump. So I mean, that's cool. Like I say, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Just like if Trump would have won this time. I mean, regardless, at the end of the day, if you vote for the wrong person, your opinion don't matter. You don't vote, you can say same thing. Your opinion don't matter. So really, at the end of the day, okay, Biden won, so your opinion matters this time around for these 4 years. And hopefully, from my perspective, I hope he gives another 4 years. Harris takes over. Maybe she takes over the next election.
You don't have a dog in the fight if you don't vote.
To me, your opinion don't matter. Your opinion don't matter.
Just like the person you vote for don't win, your opinion doesn't matter.
It do matter.
There's no difference. There's no difference.
100% to 0. I mean, it was some kind of
race. If you vote for somebody who's not in office, then your opinion doesn't matter.
It matters. It matters.
We got enough time to break it down for him, bro. Hey, this is the Rip 28 podcast. It's a podcast where a bunch of friends can get together and we can talk about a bunch of different things. Hey, some of the things you gonna like, some of the shit you ain't gonna like. But we gonna keep talking about it on the Rip 28 podcast. Y'all take it easy. We had fun.
I love y'all.
I still love you, but you crazy motherfucker.
Man, I call a spade.
If you keep not voting, we ain't gonna be able to do this freedom song too much longer.
Hey man, it's like you just said. You established the reason why I don't vote. Like you said, it don't matter since you've been born, you don't feel affected by the president. So that's why I don't vote. But the thing is, like I said, I'm glad y'all vote. I'm gonna keep encouraging.